In Star Trek, The Next Generation, the character of Captain Jean-Luc Picard is one of the most iconic in science fiction television history. As a key figure in the Star Trek universe, Picard is portrayed by Sir Patrick Stewart, but what many fans may not realize is that a single actor played both a younger version of Picard and another important member of his family, creating an interesting connection between these two roles. The actor, Daniel Stewart. The actor who played both young Jean-Luc Picard and a member of his family is Daniel Stewart, the real-life son of Sir Patrick Stewart. Daniel Stewart's connection to the Star Trek universe goes beyond just being a family member of the show's lead actor. His roles in Star Trek, The Next Generation, and its various related projects are a fascinating bit of Star Trek trivia that's often overlooked. Daniel Stewart's first appearance on Star Trek, The Next Generation, came in the Season 5 episode titled Rascals. In this episode, the crew of the Enterprise D is unexpectedly transformed into children due to a transporter malfunction. Among the crew affected by this transformation is Captain Picard, who, in his youthful state, is played by Daniel Stewart. The episode is memorable for showing the crew members as children, offering a glimpse into their younger selves. Daniel Stewart, in his brief role, convincingly portrays a young Picard, capturing some of the characteristics of the older, more authoritative version of the captain, even though he's playing a child. But what's even more interesting is that Daniel Stewart didn't just stop at portraying young Picard. In the very same series, he also portrayed another character closely connected to Jean-Luc Picard, his nephew, René Picard. Daniel Stewart as René Picard. Daniel Stewart's second appearance in Star Trek, The Next Generation, came in the episode titled Family, which is one of the most emotionally resonant episodes of the series. In this episode, Captain Picard returns to his family's ancestral home in France after the events of the Next Generation movie, The Best of Both Worlds. The episode delves into Picard's past, offering a deeper look into his family history and the complex relationships he has with them. In Family, Daniel Stewart plays René Picard, the young nephew of Jean-Luc. René is depicted as a bright, curious child, and his presence serves as a catalyst for some of the emotional moments in the episode. He provides a contrast to Picard's more serious and often distant personality, highlighting the captain's struggles with his own family dynamics. The portrayal of René also offers a glimpse into the softer, more personal side of Picard, as we see how he interacts with his relatives when he's not in command of a starship. In this role, Daniel Stewart effectively brings the character of René to life, with a subtle, yet endearing performance. René's innocence and enthusiasm serve as a reminder to Picard and to the audience of the family he left behind, and of the part of his life that is rarely shown during his time in space. The emotional core of the episode revolves around Picard's relationships with his brother, Robert Picard, and his nephew, René, as they discuss their pasts and the differences in how they perceive their family legacy. The significance of the dual roles. The fact that Daniel Stewart played both young Jean-Luc Picard and René Picard is a fascinating detail in the Star Trek franchise. While these two roles may seem unrelated on the surface, they share a deep emotional connection. The young Picard character represents a glimpse into the formative years of one of Star Trek's most beloved characters, while René represents a more personal and human side of Picard that's often hidden by his stern captain persona. The dual roles also speak to the personal connection between Daniel Stewart and Patrick Stewart. Daniel's involvement in the show, playing both a younger version of his father's character and a family member, adds a layer of authenticity and depth to the portrayal of Jean-Luc Picard. It's also a great example of how Star Trek has used family dynamics to explore character development, showing how even the most powerful figures in the Star Trek universe have vulnerabilities and deep-rooted personal histories. Behind the scenes, a family affair. Daniel Stewart's appearances on Star Trek, The Next Generation were not just fun cameos, but also a great way to bring a sense of familial continuity into the show. In addition to the emotional weight these roles carried, it was also a bit of a family affair on set. Sir Patrick Stewart's real-life relationship with his son Daniel added a layer of authenticity to their on-screen interactions, especially in scenes where the two appeared together. Beyond the Star Trek universe, Daniel Stewart has also pursued acting, appearing in various projects. However, his roles in Star Trek are arguably his most famous, in part because they directly connect him to his father's iconic role as Jean-Luc Picard. The opportunity to portray a younger version of such a beloved character, as well as a member of his family, is a rare and unique experience that few actors will ever have. Conclusion. The fact that Daniel Stewart played both a young Jean-Luc Picard and Renée Picard on Star Trek: The Next Generation is a fun and intriguing piece of Star Trek history. His roles not only allowed for a deeper exploration of Picard's backstory, but also helped add emotional depth to the show's portrayal of family relationships. Daniel's connection to the Star Trek universe through his father, Sir Patrick Stewart, makes his performances even more meaningful. Fans of Star Trek can appreciate this familial connection, and it adds another layer of richness to the iconic character of Jean-Luc Picard.